I think it's really interesting that a lot of supporters of family life education really try to dumb down the knowledge that parents have. Parents know a lot. Parents do know
you'll
a lot.
Learn.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to the Values and Voices podcast. I'm Ruthie, and today we have a returning guest, Dr. Todd Gathje. He is the Vice President of Government Relations at the Family Foundation of Virginia, and he's also my dad. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
So it's been 7 months since our very first episode, which you were on, but a lot of stuff has happened in those 7 months. I've been away at college, and you've been here working, but I think, for me, one of the most exciting things is I've been hired to work at the Liberty Champion, which is the school newspaper. So I'm really excited for that and to kind of see what happens next semester. And Well,
your mom and I are very excited for you. This is something that you're very talented at in terms of writing. And I don't know, regardless of what your title is, we're just excited about the scholarship. With as parents who have 3 kids in college and 1 in private Christian school. So this helps. Every little bit counts.
Yeah, and you just got hired as an adjunct Liberty professor online.
Yeah, teaching a course online. This is my first course. It's a government and government worldview class that I'm facilitating, and it's been really exciting. Getting to read papers, getting to read different viewpoints, and just kind of immersing myself in sort of some of the literature that I've been kind of out of for a while, so it's been exciting.
Yeah, and now you know how to work Canvas.
That's right. I'm still learning.
I'm
still learning.
I'm still learning too, so we're in it together.
That's right. In a way, we're both kind of like freshmen at this, right?
But I definitely am glad to be attending Liberty and getting a Christian education. Not many people are able to get that or even go to a school like Liberty. But I was also really blessed to be able to go to a private Christian school and really get a firm foundation that has trained me to do a podcast like this or kind of upgrade my public speaking abilities. But that was a big decision for you and Mom to put my sister and I in a private school. So what was like your reasoning behind that and the thought process?
Yeah, that's a big question. And we could go in a lot of different directions. I think for us though, your Christian values, your Christian principles are really important. That's the most important thing in anybody's life. Is making sure that you grow in your faith and you become firm in your Christian worldview. And we were concerned based on a lot of what parents all across the country, we were seeing what's happening in schools after the COVID lockdowns. A lot of the curriculum that was being teaching really contradicted what we were trying to teach at home. And so we thought, the best environment is for you and your sister to be in a private Christian school. And it's been a great place. We knew the school, we knew the people who started the school, we had confidence in the administration there and the faculty, but we knew it was a place where you and your sister would thrive, and y'all have enjoyed every moment. We've enjoyed every moment as parents, but I think that making sure that we put you in an environment where you can succeed as well as be able to guard your Christian values, that's really important for us. Yeah,
it's definitely really handing the decision back to the parents and getting parents more involved. Public school wasn't really all about that, I don't think. But also one of the big things was the family life education. That was really kind of a vocal point in the public school system. And you and Mom were teaching me those things, not the school. So I think it's really important that, kids are being taught by their parents and not the school. And so that's a kind of a big thing within a private Christian school is they don't offer that, which is good. So it's handing that back to the parents and letting them teach their children those really private conversations. I read a academic article while I was at school. It's been really smart, and they said that the parents' lack of knowledge posed a major problem for sex and sexuality education provision. making it difficult for them to address the topic with sufficient confidence. This was obviously a left-leaning article, which I was surprised to find at Liberty, but I think it's really interesting that a lot of supporters of family life education really try to dumb down the knowledge that parents have. Parents know a lot. Parents do know
you'll
a lot.
Learn, yeah.
And so what is your opinion as a lobbyist and a dad? What is your opinion on that statement?
Yeah, so first of all, I would say don't shy away from reading some of the left-leaning articles, because you can still find how your values and your faith can defend against the arguments that they make, right? And I would say in this particular piece, what they're really trying to say, if you read kind of behind the article and what the meaning is, which is that at home, their families are teaching values one way, and when we get you to school, we want to take that out of you and teach children another way. Teach them the secular, humanist way.
Yeah.
And you can go all the way back to the Deweys, to John Dewey, who was the pioneer behind public schools, Horace Mann. He was considered the father of public education. But both of them, and if you're in the education field, most likely you've studied these two individuals. And what they were really focused on was getting them into a school and then teaching them through self-learning, through experience, all of these different issues and topics and concepts. And Dewey even said he wants to separate kids from the value system that they have at home. And that is right out of Karl Marx. That's right out of cultural Marxism. And the whole idea is that we want to get you into a public school system, and we want to take the values you have and separate them so that what your parents are teaching you isn't really significant. But what we know is that all of your important, vital learning happens at home.
Yeah.
Everything from the moment you were brought into this world until the day that you leave the house, and even now, because parents still provide guidance and counsel. But those are some of the critical years, and it's really important to make sure that parents have the voice, that they're respecting the voice of the parents, because they have the values and traditions at home. Family life has blossomed into something that it was not intended to be. In fact, public education in and of itself has. Yeah. Family life started out as teaching who families are, how to recognize dangers, and then it's gotten into things like sex education, sexual orientation, gender identity, and those are right out of the pages of groups like Planned Parenthood that want to teach you value systems that are inconsistent with what you're learning at home. Yeah,
that's definitely good. And I think definitely as Christians, we need to make it a priority to guard the minds of young children. Elementary school kids should not be learning, these private conversations. Like they should be, listening to their parents, or, learning what different colors are and, shapes. Like they don't need to be talking about these certain topics. So
if you look at the demographics from an economic standpoint, families that tend to be lower on the income stratosphere, actually hold to more biblical traditional values. It's when you get further up and into more educated systems in which all of a sudden all of these non-traditional values start to penetrate the family dynamics. And you have families that really understand what common sense values are, but you have some that have now bought into this cultural kind of influence that's going on. And so that's another important component of this. Education isn't going to necessarily provide you all of the answers. We already have it as parents. We have it through our biblical teaching. We have it through what we learn through the Bible, what we learn at our church, in our communities. And that's where those values are really honed and polished and then conveyed to your children.
So what would be your advice to parents who are making that decision to opt their child out of family life education, or even trying to vocalize, like, family life education is not for my child.
Yeah, I would encourage them to do that. Opt your child out of family life education. Some states, every state is different. Even in Virginia, some localities are different. But you do have an option to be able to opt your child out of specific content. And you have, as a right, as a parent, to be able to go into a public school and to be able to view their online family life education curriculum, either at home, or you can actually go in there and pull out hard documents and look at their curriculum. But I would encourage you to do that, because what you're getting in family life education is not learning about family and family dynamics. You're learning about sex, sexuality, and these are sensitive topics that, as a parent, you know what is appropriate for your child, what they can handle, and so I would encourage them to opt out of any family life education. And there are terrific resources out there. Focus on the Family provides some great resources that I would encourage you to, you go to their website and you can request or search around for them.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to have conversations with your children, building bonds, building relationships. Then they can trust you when there's a serious topic to have to talk about, because you've built that trust by talking to them about these issues.
Right. I feel like, especially in our generation, like family life education is really kind of overlooked. In a lot of ways, like abortion or homosexuality or just any kind of cultural issue, like family life education is kind of like at the bottom, but it is a really important thing to really kind of research, because kids are the future of America, and so we have to make sure that we're teaching them right.
And as a parent, if you don't teach them this in accordance with your Christian values, then that means the world's going to teach them, and it's not going to be consistent with your values.
Right. And you already kind of stated how, family life education used to be about just like, what does a family look like? But now it's changed to where a family could include 2 moms or 2 dads, or, it's really kind of conformed and over time. And so, I just think it's so important that we really hand this back to the parents and let the parents teach their children. And hey, I didn't do family life education, and I think I turned out perfectly fine.
You did just
so. I'm succeeding in life. Yeah. But I want to know, you work for the Family Foundation. What are some steps that the Family Foundation has done or is going to do to kind of combat family life education in public schools?
Yeah, well, we would love to be able to turn it from an opt-out to an opt-in, making the default that the school is not going to teach a child sex education on its own. Right now, the default is they're going to teach it unless you send them a letter saying, take my child out of this teaching.
Yeah.
So that's why we have been successful in getting the curriculum online. So that makes it easy for parents to see it online. I think the next battle is going to be, and it currently is, what kind of materials, what kind of books are on the library bookshelves now.
Yeah.
And then that's been a big issue here in Virginia. We'll see legislation come out, and we're going to have to defend it and advocate against it, because it's not going to be good legislation for protecting the innocence of children. It's going to be to promote this hypersexuality that's on bookshelves. So so those are some of the things that we tend to focus on in this space on family life education.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you already mentioned as resources you can look at Focus on the Family. Family Foundation has
we have links to some of those.
So take a look at those. But thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining me on the podcast. Yeah. And thank you for tuning in to Values and Voices, and I'll catch you next time.
Family. You're learning about sex, sexuality, things that are sensitive topics, and only you as a parent can know whether or not that's age appropriate.